another episode of Asexualized, my asexual life. This is a place to be for education about asexuality, all things asexual. I share my own asexual life journey in order to help you in yours. If you haven't already subscribed, please hit the great big subscribe button right down here below this video, right here, right now, and click that bell icon to get notified of every time I go live right now or post a new video. And don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you're enjoying the content as we go along. Thank you for joining me. Well, I don't usually do a video this early, but I'm absolutely laughing my head off. And I thought rather than just sat here laughing to myself, that I would actually talk to you guys. If you don't know who I am author of this book, by the way, Asexual Perspectives on Amazon, and founder of asexuals.com and founder of Asexualist Academy. So I just had to shoot this video while I was laughing. I couldn't do nothing but laugh. So I'm currently, you'll see all this stuff in the background here. I'm currently working on Asexual Guide to Sex. It's my second book for asexuals, and it's really, really ironic because it's turned out, I think, to be the best sex book on the market, and it hasn't even reached the market yet. So I'm writing Asexual Guide to Sex along with 14 other interviewees, and I've got really, really in-depth questions. And I thought, as a personally sex-repulsed asexual these days, that I was going to find it really difficult to write this type of book, that I was going to be squeamish over it, that I was going to be like really worried about doing it, that I was going to be apprehensive, that I was going to be freaking out. And instead I write this stuff and I can't do nothing but laugh. And it's just so funny. And I think it's because I'm asexual that I can laugh at this stuff. Like years ago, when I thought I was heterosexual and I thought, you know, I was in heterosexual relationships, I took sex so seriously. And obviously, if you're going to have sex, you should take it very seriously. It's a very serious thing, you know, in the sense you've got to be safe, have boundaries, be assertive, and everything like that is so important. But obviously sex is supposed to be fun if you're going to have it as well. And, you know, I'm just so surprised and shocked at how much I'm laughing writing this book. I mean, I'm really getting into a flow. Like, I had literally, this is what I've been writing. Like, you can see like all this writing I've done for the book, like pages and pages already. And this is only a few questions. This is like, I'm on the 10th question, and this is how much I've done already, right? And like these are the second set of questions. This doesn't even include the first, so I'm just going through these questions that I've written to all the interviewees and got to ask, you know, myself. And they are really, really, really good questions. You know, they are stuff that I wished I'd known when I was in a relationship, when I was starting out and in relationships, and guys wanted sex with me, and I'd never thought about it before because it's not something I thought about as a romantic asexual. I'm thinking about kissing, cuddling, holding hands, all the romantic moonlit stuff that they talk about in films. And obviously these guys are thinking about practical sex, or not really think practically about it, just think about having the sex. And didn't even enter my head, you know. And I'm like, and so, you know, now because I haven't had sex since 2011, I'm so detached from it that when I'm talking about it, I'm revealing such explicit stuff in this book to help others, right? And I just can't do nothing but laugh, because when I start talking about things going in the hole and stuff like that, which obviously is very sexually explicit for the book, but I'm talking about how I felt, you know, with the practicalities of stuff compared to the emotional stuff, then I just find it hilarious. I just can't stop laughing at some of these things I'm talking about, because like I would never have dreamed or imagined I'd be talking about this type of stuff back in 2014 when I first found out I was asexual. I never even spoke about sex. I couldn't even say the word sex in public unless it was a joke, you know. And so to actually write a book that's going to help thousands of people across the world and having a laugh about it at the same time is just really, really good, you know, because obviously, you know, you're probably quite surprised that a sex repulsed asexual is writing such a book, but I wasn't sex repulsed back then. I didn't hate sex back then. I didn't like it. I didn't really think about wanting it or needing it, but I wasn't like, I'll never have it again in my life, which is what I'm like now. And so, I just thought it was hilarious. And but there's a lot of real serious stuff in here, to do with boundaries in a relationship. How, basically when people say about having boundaries within a relationship, what do they mean? And how can I ensure I have boundaries with my partner and that they respect them? I mean, these are really serious questions. I didn't even know what boundaries was for years. I didn't. And that's why mine got violated a lot. Do you know what I mean? I didn't know, when it said, it's got a question in here about being assertive. What does it mean to be assertive? And this is a book that I really wished I had years ago, because as an asexual person, whether you have sex or you don't, you still need to have boundaries within a relationship, right? Because there'll be certain parts you like to be touched, certain parts you don't like to be touched. There'll be certain things you can love in a relationship, certain things you can't tolerate in a relationship, and all this type of stuff is good whether you're having sex or not. Do you see what I mean? It's really important. And it's like, this is a question I'm on at the moment. How do I ensure my asexual needs are met within a sexual relationship? And that's why I'm answering for the book at the moment. But it's like I went in to get something to eat for myself because it's like gone 8 o'clock at night. I'm really hungry. And this is the thing that I couldn't stop laughing about. I know it's childish in lots of ways. I know it's like play school humour, but I just couldn't do nothing but laugh because I've been talking about explicit, like, sexual stuff to help other people. Like, this is the most personal stuff I've ever revealed in my life about myself, which is why I can't stop laughing half the time, because I'm like, oh my God, Sandra, you would never have said this stuff years ago. Before you knew you were asexual, you would never have talked about sex and what you used to do with your ex. You just wouldn't have. It would be shocking. And I sit here sometimes thinking I'm shocked with myself, but I'm not shocked in a bad way. I'm kind of shocked in a good way, in a funny way, because I'm like, it's like I'm a completely different person now, And I think it's good, I think it's really good. They're not just me. A lot of asexuals can talk a lot more openly and honestly about sex. And I think that's what you need in order to have a loving, healthy, happy relationship. You really have to be upfront about what you need, like dislike in a relationship. I know for me it's harder because I'm looking for such specific things, but that is good because everyone who gets into a relationship, they do have their own needs, wants, likes and dislikes, but they don't express them in the beginning. And that's when the relationship will fail very, very quickly or become unhappy or unhealthy, and it's not good. So whatever relationship you're having, communication is key. It is absolutely key. And you should be talking about all your wants, needs, likes and dislikes before you get into a relationship with someone. And this is what the heterosexual world is lacking. This is not what they're taught. This is not what I was taught. I was not taught about all this stuff. I was not taught, right, when you meet someone and you're thinking about possible relationship with them, you should be discussing physicalities like sex and kissing and cuddling and, and hobbies and interests. I wasn't taught anything like that. I wasn't taught that, if you're going to have a long, happy, loving, sustainable relationship, it's not just about the physical kissing or sex. It's about all this other stuff. And I wasn't taught that. So although the book's called Asexual Guide to Sex, it's got a lot of components in it of how to have a loving, healthy, happy relationship, because as an asexual, you need to get that, Asexuals don't experience sexual attraction if they're not getting their other physical needs met, their emotional needs and other things in the relationship. If they don't feel safe and comfortable, they're not even going to want to try sex, right? I mean, why would you, But yes, this is why I can do nothing but laugh. I went to get a carrot, and I know it's really, 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 really childish humour, but this is what the carrot looked like. And it's like, I've been talking about sex all day in the answers, and this looks like a wonky penis to me. And I'm like, oh my God, how am I supposed to eat that now? I've been talking about stuff in my book all day, and I've got to eat a carrot that looks like a wonky penis, and I just couldn't do nothing but laugh. And rather than eat it, which I don't know if I can eat it at the moment, I'm like, do you know what I mean? Because I've been talking about this stuff that I've been talking about in here, which is really personal stuff from years ago. It's kind of like reminds me of what I'm talking about, so I can't even put it in my mouth. I can't even peel it. I'm like, maybe I'll leave that one for another day. I don't even know if I can eat it. It's too late. It reminds me of the past with oral sex, you see. And I'm like, oh, I don't do that now. And it's like, it's because when I'm doing the book, right? And I'm sure when other people are doing this book and answering them, you have to kind of reflect back on your life and you have to put yourself in the mindset and position of what you were years ago. And that is really hard to do, you know. And I'm blessed that, like I was talking to you last night about Adam being in the book and him sharing a lot of personal information to help you guys out in the book. You know, even he was saying that he had to go back to when he did have sex before to remember what it felt like and how it was different for him to his heterosexual partner, you know. And that's what you have to do. You know, the people that I've interviewed for the book, I am so blessed that they are giving their personal stories, because obviously some stories aren't all fabulous and hunky-dory and great. Some stories are a bit traumatic, or maybe more traumatic than they should have been, you know. And so it's important I get this book out, because this book will reveal stuff that's both great or good or beneficial about sex, and things that is bad about sex and needs to be warned about, and mistakes that could be made, you know. And so this book is really just an amazing, incredible book that I don't see on the market at the moment. I can't wait to get it out, you know. I'm really gonna be aiming to get it out before Christmas, because to me it's just going to be the best book ever written about sex. And we need this as asexuals. We need to have our say about what sex is really like to us, you know. We need our voices to be raised higher and higher, and for us to have our say, you know. We need people to understand how our minds work, how our feelings work, how our bodies work differently to the sexuals. It's so important going forward over generations and generations to really establish ourselves and our identities within it. You know, it's really important to be taken seriously, that people understand the fundamentals of how asexuals are different in their attitudes, needs, likes, wants, dislikes, in terms of physical touching, caressing, sex, sexual acts. It's very important. It's important to the history of our society. That's how I truly see this book. I see it as a revolutionary guide to sex that's written by asexuals. It's just out of this world. I've never seen anything like it. I'm just so looking forward to getting it into bookshops, and I'm just so looking forward to it being on Amazon. You know, I'm just so looking forward to just having it out there, because it's going to be huge. It's going to be life-changing. And the people who are sexuals, who are actually kind, caring, open-minded, listen, want to learn, those are the people that will take this book to heart, and they will probably even consider possibly having a relationship with an asexual, or decide, well, there's no way I could be with an asexual. And that saves us both a lot of heartache. You know, you need a book, you need information available that can show how an asexual and sexual relationship could work, and how it definitely doesn't work, because we don't want to keep getting hurt. You know, at the end of the day, some sexuals need sex. They can't live without it in a relationship, just like some of us who are sex repulsed can't live with it in a relationship. And that is so important, to understand those different needs. You know, it's so important. So to me, I'm just so excited about this book, and I'm so shocked that I'm actually laughing at myself at some of the things I'm writing, because it's so like matter of fact, you know. And I'm laughing at myself because I'm like, geez, Sandra, you've changed so much, because years ago, like 5 years ago, you wouldn't have been able to write this stuff. You wouldn't have even been able to barely say anything like this. And now you're just laying it all bare in a book for the world to see. I mean, my other book, this book, does go into depth about, you know, stuff to do with my past sexual experiences. But this new book takes it to a whole nother level. And, you know, what I've written so far is really going to help you guys out. You know, I do have a lot of experience. In birth certificate age, I'm a lot older than I look. And I do have a lot of experience in order to help you guys. I spent half of my life in heterosexual relationships, you know. That's a long time for an asexual to be in. Hi, Michael. Nice to see you. That's a long time for an asexual to be in a relationship, in heterosexual relationships, half their life, you know. But this book's going to be absolutely incredible. It's going to really help so many people, because I know there are lots of asexuals that come into my groups on Facebook and they do want to try sex, or they are in relationships with sexuals and they don't know what to do and they're unhappy, some of them. Obviously, if someone wants sex with you, you don't want it, and you both can't get your needs met, just split up. I'm going to tell you that. I know on certain terms. If your partner wants sex all the time, you're monogamous, they want monogamy, they don't want to go off. Sorry, I haven't been around much recently. That's all right. I kept the trolls under control pretty much. Like, they did come on here, but I kept deleting their messages and stuff. I had one last night, so but I know you're really busy, and I know I usually do these live streams quite late, but I just wanted to do a live stream now because I'm in the middle of writing all this, as you can see, and I'm in quite good flow, and I'd like to carry on with it. And I thought if I do a live stream early, and plus I've been laughing, and I think it's nice to see me laughing, but you know, the book is really serious. Don't get me wrong, it's got a lot of serious issues in it. But, you know, for me to actually be able to laugh about stuff that was very difficult back then is kind of good. It helps me to move forward. I mean, I'm divulging a lot of stuff to do with relationships in my past, ones that weren't very good. Not just the relationship I talk about a lot on this channel, the 8.5-year one I do mention quite a bit. I'm divulging stuff from other relationships that I don't talk about usually. And so, you know, I'm just really happy that I'm at peace with myself a lot about the past now. You know, that I can talk about all this stuff in a matter of fact way, and that, you know, and I'm laughing. I got in a fight the other day and sparked him out. He was a batty man. I got in a fight the other day and sparked him out. He was a batty man. Are you having a joke, Michael? What? I don't know how to take that. I hope you're having a joke. So yeah, so I just wanted to like share the fact I was laughing, really, and the fact of this asexual guide to sex. I'm laughing in a way as well, because I honestly believe this will be the best sex book there ever is in existence. I truly believe it. It's revolutionary. How many books do you know out there where it's actually completely written about how to have sex from an asexual point of view to help the world out? I don't know any other book like it on the market. I mean, the details we're going into is not what's in usually, but usually you get doctors writing about it, psychologists writing about it, sexologists writing about sex. You get some people that have articles online, they decide to write about sex. You get dating coaches that decide to write about sex. But, you know, the book that I'm doing, which has got 14 other asexuals in it besides me, you know, you're getting the perspective of like 15 different people, different types of asexuals, having different types of experiences, giving different, you know, advice, or some of it will be quite similar because we might have, you know, come to similar conclusions. But, you know, I mean, these questions are amazing, you know, like you know, it goes through everything. You know, like, you know, so the questions that I want to be asked when I first started having sex is like, you know, if I was an asexual, if I knew I was asexual, because I'm obviously asexual, but if I was going to say if I was an asexual back then and I knew it, so if I was like going back to when I first had sex when I was only 16 years old, that's very, very young, you know, this is the book that I wished I had back then. Haha, only joking, it's Christian server here. So yeah, these are the type of questions. So all my interviewees had one lot of questions, and these are all the further questions. These are the really probing questions. I mean, a lot of my interviewees are finding these hard to answer. They might not even be able to answer all of them. But as the author, I'm going to be answering all of them. I've already done, like I said. I mean, look at all this work today. This is a lot of stuff I've written down, right? So some of these questions, you know, like how, you know, like if I was just going and thinking about having a relationship with a sexual person and thinking about having sex, you know, these are the type of questions I would get, like, how many times a week will I be expected to have sex on average? How many times a day? Like, what's your experience of this, you know? So these are the questions that, you know, some of the questions that the asexuals will be answering in the book. You know, like things like, you know, in your experience of someone who's had sex before, from an asexual point of view, what is the difference between love and sex, you know? And things like, what if I try sex and I realise I don't really like it or want to do it again? What will happen to that relationship? Is there any hope it can survive? And I've already just mentioned about the fact about boundaries and assertiveness. You know, I was never taught about boundaries as a kid. I was never taught about being assertive. And I think that didn't help. And that's why I ended up in Michael. Come to think about it, I love being a virgin. No, it's good. I totally agree with you, Michael. It's very good being a virgin. You know, I personally don't think people need to have sex. My personal view is they don't need to have sex. I think it's great. If you're a virgin asexual, never want to have sex in your life, I think it's great. I support you. I commend you. I think you're amazing. I personally don't want sex again in my life, so I'm fully with you. It's just that it's strange for me because it's like, I fit into the asexual world more than the sexual world, but I've been in that world for like half of my life with heterosexuals. So I have no problem in talking about it, helping other people, and seeing what I did like about doing sexual acts back then, even though I don't like doing some of them now. It's really weird. It's like I'm able to separate myself and help others. It's really important, but I think it's great being a virgin, Michael. I mean, you know, I'm glad personally I tried sex. For me, I think I would have, because I have got the kissing and stuff like that, and I do get high arousal levels. I'm glad I tried it, and no, I don't need it and want it anymore. I never wanted it really in the first place. I never looked at a guy and thought I want it with you, but you know, now I've done that, I don't need to do it again. But I don't think people need to do it in the first place. That's what I'm saying, you know. Like, I don't know. If I'd have known I was asexual back then, I might never even have tried it. I just want an Indian hunk to hold me and keep me safe at night. Are you talking about yourself or me, Michael? I presume you're talking about me because you're aromantic, asexual, and you're not into guys, I don't think. Do you know what I mean? It's not the type of thing you usually say to me. I want an Indian guy, as you know. But I don't need him to be here with me at night. He could go back to his own place. I'm quite happy, but I don't think you want a relationship, do you, Michael? Have you changed in the time that you've been on asexuality.org? And now you think, I'd love to have a relationship, even though I don't want sex. Have you changed? Or are you pulling my leg? Pulling my leg. It doesn't sound very good, does it? But yeah, so I just think, you know, I want to let people know, and I will be saying in the book, there's no way asexual have to have sex. There's no way that I'm telling asexual to have sex. There's no way I'm saying you should or you've got to. Indian hunk doesn't have to be a guy or a woman. It can be something which doesn't have a presence. Hunk. I think you'll find hunk is reference to a person, the word hunk. But you can dictionary check it, what hunk means. It can be something which doesn't have a presence. That would be like a spirit. So I think if you're saying calling a spirit a hunk, that would be very weird. Are you feeling well, Michael? Right, folks, let's tuck in. Why would I want to say that? That's weird. That's very, very strange. Anyway, I think I've said enough on this channel for today. You know, I've been going through my Asexual Guide to Sex book, and so yeah. Anyway, I hope you found this useful, helpful, insightful with the book that's coming out. It's really, really good book. And I know you're absolutely going to love it. And you're going to feel like really, really happy that you've, you know, that you've got this book coming out. It's going to be absolutely incredible. If you like this video, please, please, please give it a thumbs up. I would really, really appreciate it. And, yeah, just subscribe if you haven't already. hit the great big bell icon to get notified of every time I go live like now or post a new video. And yes, I will see you on the next live stream or video. I've done my video for tonight because I want to get on with my writing. So I will see you tomorrow on the next video or live stream. Until next time, embrace your quirky and each other's, and I will see you soon. Thank you. Bye.